Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Totoro. So we're going to start with the eyes. Let's start with the one on the left. So we start at the very top and just draw a circle. From here, let's draw the pupil. So dead center, we're going to draw a smaller circle. And then on the top left, we're just going to draw a really tiny circle for the highlight and then color the inside black. Okay, let's leave a little bit of a space and move over to the right side and draw this exact same thing. So you see that I'm always using my left hand to sort of gauge the distance between one object to another. So right here, I'm going to draw the right side eye. And then I'm going to draw a circle in the middle for the pupil. Then again, a little highlight at the top. And coloring the inside black. Let's move to the center and draw the nose. So the nose actually sits in line with the bottom edge of the eye. So just from here, move up a bit and draw a curve for the top of the nose. And then from here, I'm just going to curve inwards towards each other right in the middle there. And we'll color this in black. And just for a little bit of detail on the face, I'm just going to draw a couple of lines like that, just to show a little bit of the fur. Okay, from here, we're going to move up to the top of the head and draw the crown of the head. And on either side, just above the eyes, there's these two ears. So I just want to make sure that I leave enough space for the two ears here. So from here to here, I'm just going to draw a curve like that. Okay, and at the base of each ear, there's a little bit of like a ruffle or a wave. So I'm just going to go in and just draw these little ruffles like that. And we'll go up to the top of the ear. So the ear is actually pinching kind of like a leaf. So from here, I'm going to go up to the top of the ear, which would be right about here, with a curve like that. And then I'm going to make my way back to the base here. So from here, I'm going to curve around. Then right here, I'm going to stop and do a couple more ruffles along the edge. Let's do the same thing on the right side. So I'm going to make sure I go up to the same height as I have on the left. So curving up, and curving down. Then again, leaving room for those little ruffles along the bottom. Now we're going to work our way down the side of the face, but here I'm going to stop because I have some whiskers that I got to draw in here and they get overlaid on top of the side of the face. So along the whole body, it's sort of, we want to show some fur, so it's going to be a little bit wavy. So kind of doing this sort of pattern like that. Let's go to the left side here and just do the same thing. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's always nice to have a little bit of roughness to the texture of the line. So from here, let's draw one of the whiskers. So just below this eye, right about here, I'm going to draw a little curve like this. And then from here, I'm going to take the top part and just curve out to the tip of one whisker. And I'm going to go back down to this base and just taper in to a point, just like that. Let's move to the left side and do the left side here. It's always nice to sort of go back and forth, just so you get that right balance. So making sure that the height is roughly the same and the length is about the same. So I'll start at the outermost point and come in and then taper out. Get a little bit wider. And if you missed here, you can always just finish that off just by filling in the lines. Let's go into the second row of whiskers. So right here, I'm going to go over to the right a little bit. Just draw another curve like that. And I'll go out. Like so. So a tapered line that goes to a point at the end. Let's go to the left side and do the same thing. So right here. And then I'm going to go up to the point right about here. Pull two lines out like that. And one last row. Just go below here and just draw this curve here. And this one's going to sort of angle. So you can see I'm sort of angling these things as I go down. So this one's going to aim a little bit further down. Kind of like that. Into a point. Let's go to this side here. And make sure that we come down to the same height. Kind of like so. Let's finish that off there. Okay, now that we have the whiskers in, now we can go back and finish the side of the head. So the body is quite wide, so I kind of want to come up to about here to where the shoulders start. So if you imagine this line continuing, I'm just going to bring this down to right where my finger is there. And on this side, I'm going to go down just a bit there like that. Now let's get into the rounded shoulders to the arms. So the arms and the hands sort of end off right about here on either side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this point and round out the arms. But as I'm going, I'm just going to make the lines a little bit wavy. I'm going to go straight across and make sure that I got the same height on the hands here. So again, just waving that line doesn't have to be perfect. What I do is I actually pause and just push back a little bit and pause and pull back. Now from here, we're going to move back up the arm and draw in the armpit area. So right here, I'm going to draw a dot move over to the right side and draw a dot. These are my point of references where I'm going to start to come down to the bottom of the feet, which would be right about here. So this is like the ankle, just before I start the foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to curve all the way around like this, so big round body. I want to intersect this line here, so what I'm doing is I'm creating a wave like that, and finish this off like so. Go back up to this reference point and do the same thing. So just rounding out the body, making sure I give that little fur texture as I go along. And now that I have that, I'm going to draw a couple claws. So right here, start on the outside, just draw a curve like this, and pull that back in. I'll draw one more right behind it like so. Let's go to this side here, starting at the bottom, and one more back behind there. Now let's go and draw the mouth. So right about the same line height as the bottom row of whiskers, right in the middle. Just going to draw a little curve that goes down like that. Okay, now let's finish off the body. So right in here is like an egg-shaped belly pattern. It's basically just a different color in the belly. But right here, I'm going to draw the bottom edge. So you can see if this bottom part here, I'm just going to draw a couple waves like that. Okay, that was a little bit quick, but you just kind of like jag your pen around like this. I'm going to work my way all the way up to the top, right about here. So I'm going to put a point there. So what I'm going to do is just draw a little wavy line that goes right up against the side of the belly here. I'm not going to touch. Just going to keep it pretty close and make my way down to that point there. So the same thing on this side again. So just making this as smooth and oval as possible without touching the side of the belly. Make my way right up to that point there. Now for the bottom of the feet, I'm going to leave a gap in the middle. So from here, I'm just going to curve the bottom of the foot like this. I'll do the same thing on the right. And I'm going to draw some claws for the toes. So simply, I'm just going to take this point, curve in, and then down. Just like a little curve like that. Take this point and curve it back into that foot. I'm going to do an overlap. So coming up here, curving around, and then pulling that back in. Take this point here, curving out, and pulling this back in. And then taking this point and pulling that right into that foot. Let's go to this side. So I'm going to curve around the back to the top of the nail. Close that up like that. Do an overlap. Pull that back in. And one final one. Pull that back in. And up here, just tuck that in behind that ankle. The final part are the little patterns along the chest area. So I'm going to start with the main one in the center here. And what it is, it's a curve that goes up. Not really a point, but sort of a rounded tip. And then here, I'm going to round out the tips, come up, and then back down and round out the ends. Kind of looks like a boomerang. We're going to do one more over on this side. So starting on the side, going up, and then down, rounding out the tips. So you can just do this in stages. So doing the tips, going up to the center, and then back down again. Let's go to this side here. So there'll be one right here. So, rounding out the ends, and then finishing it off by connecting the two. Now, on the second row, there's like 4, so there's going to be 2 in between these open spots here. So I'll start with the one on the right. So, rounding out the ends, and then closing it off. Let's do one here. Up and down, rounding out the ends, and closing it up like so. Let's do one on either end right about here. So I'm going to take this point up, rounding out the ends, close that off, and one final one right here. Go up, rounding them off, and then up like so. And I think that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Totoro. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please give us a like if you want to see more anime characters like this. Check out our playlist. We have a ton of characters in our anime playlist. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.